Greetings gamers everywhere and welcome to my video about Ubisoft and their NFT policies. Well, it's all going down the drain. Hopefully for Ubisoft and not for us players. We'll see how this will develop in the future, but right now it's going slowly. It's going slowly. The battle for NFTs or against NFTs is going quite well on most fronts, but Ubisoft is not one to back down when it comes to this. They are still struggling. They are still going against their fans and the players. Most players, at least, there are still those who do buy NFTs and really like it in both games and outside of games. And we are here to talk about Ubisoft's way of actually continuing this newly trend of, I want to say pictures, images, but in their case, I guess it's skins. And as I understand it, some of the weapons are all not just reskins, but also completely new weapons. At least in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is so far the only game in Ubisoft franchise who has NFTs. But they are promising more of that. And we'll start with, for those who do not know, I myself am quite new to this NFT thing. I have seen it, I read about it, but I have not been fully understanding what NFTs are, but mostly I've seen pictures and images. But I have gotten some idea of what it is, but let's get into what NFTs are. NFTs are basically images. Let's see. NFTs or non-fungible tokens are unique digital goods that can be bought or sold with ownership tracked on the blockchain. NFTs are becoming an increasingly popular way to attempt to add value to digital goods, and that seems to be part of what Ubisoft is trying to do with digits. Their NFTs are called digits, and quartz is the currency being used by Ubisoft to purchase digits within Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, it's this does not explain everything, but if we read here, it says, "What's an NFT?" NFTs allow you to buy and sell ownership of unique digital items and keep track of who owns them using the blockchain. NFT stands for non-fungible token, and it can technically contain anything digital, including drawings, animated GIFs, songs, or items in video games. An NFT can either be one of a kind, like a real-life painting, or one copy of many, like trading cards. But the blockchain keeps track of who has ownership of the file. NFTs have been making headlines lately, some selling for millions of dollars, with high-profile memes like Nyan Cat and Deal With It sunglasses being put up for auction. There are also a lot of discussion about the massive electricity use and environmental impacts of NFTs. I have no idea what that is. I know what a Nyan Cat is, but Deal With It sunglasses, I'm not sure about that one. But we're gonna leave the discussion about the massive electricity use and environmental impacts. We're not gonna get into that. But we can also read here that blockchain isn't requirement to be able to resell digital goods. Blizzard let people do it years ago in Diablo 3 auction house. So why the use of blockchain? No idea. I don't get. I Blockchain is even a bigger thing than NFTs. And I have read about the blockchain. I have read it. I was going to have it here, but I myself did not have a full understanding of what I was reading about, so I don't want to put it out there. But because that is not the main thing here, we're gonna focus on something else. let's move on. Ubisoft a few months ago said that gamers don't understand NFTs, and we're gonna get into that. On 7 December, on 7th of December, I would say, on December 7, 2021, Ubisoft became the first big name developer to publicly enter the NFT space. The launch of the Ubisoft Digits and NFT and the Quartz platform did not go down well. Gamer feedback was negative to the point of being aggressive. The big names in-game the big names in-game press were also tepid in their analysis, one way or the other. This was a landmark moment in gaming. And it's a landslide, but not a victory. Let's see here. True ownership of not just a product but a stake in the gaming ecosystem we create through play and community is a future with positive potential if done right. That is true. If done right, anything can become positive and well done. There just one problem with the NFTs. It's just another form of, well, in most people's eyes, it's just another form of microtransaction. But if we continue down here, we can read the question is gamer feedback to the Ubisoft Quartz and Digits launch has been generally negative. What has the feedback told you about the prospect of mainstream NFT success? Well, it was a reaction we were expecting. We know it's not an easy concept to grasp, but Quartz is really just a first step that should lead to something bigger. Something that will be more easily understood by our players. That's the way we think about it and why we will keep experimenting. We will keep releasing features and services around this first initiative. And our belief is that piece by piece the puzzle will be revealed and understood by our players. We hope they will better understand the value we offer them. As we could read earlier on, NFTs can be pictures and skins and things in game, weapons for example, but why can't this be introduced like in the game as something you earn through playing, or even as a separate type of microtransaction in the already in-game stores? I believe marketing. I mean, microtransactions already has a very negative look to them to most players. Introducing NFTs and naming them digits, well, it's just marketing. It keeps the appearance of a microtransaction, but it goes away from the microtransaction name by being something else. Just like to get quartz, you spend real money. And then you use the quartz to buy NFTs or digits. By separating quartz and real money, they make you think it separates the money from the digital thing, the digits. It separates the money because it doesn't feel when you suddenly use the quartz to buy digits, you don't feel like you're spending money, you are only spending quartz. It's a trick of the brain. I myself have also done this. Like, for example, when playing League of Legends, I bought the Riot points, and I spent Riot points to purchase skins and new heroes or legends or whatever. I did not do a lot of this. I've been spending very little money on microtransactions, but I still did it, and I could myself feel that buying this through this was a way of making me feel like I did not spend any money. I only spent Riot points. Let's get into the article again. Well, let's talk about making sense of it. What do you think is the big positive the gamers are missing about what NFTs like digits can offer them? I think gamers don't get what a digital secondary market can bring to them. Why do we need a digital secondary market is the question, I think. For now, because of the current situation and context of NFT, gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet and second just a tool for speculation. But what we at Ubisoft are seeing first is the end game. The end game is about giving players the opportunity to resell their items once they're finished with them or they finished playing the game itself. Okay, yeah. Uh, end game, selling my items, sure. I would, because these NFTs you're able to sell them if you want to. You can buy the NFT and then sell it for much more than you bought it for if the market is market for that specific NFT is good. Uh, if, for example, it's much like the stock market. You can buy the product and then sell it for a higher price, or maybe the once you buy it, you keep it, and then suddenly the price crashes for that particular product, or in this case, NFTs. NFTs are like this in price. Some of them are actually worth millions of dollars somehow, even though you can just Google the image and then copy it and put it on your computer anyway. Is that theft? If the blockchain consider you the owner for that particular NFT, if someone copies that image and just puts it in our computer, is that theft? Oh well. Now we get a real funny line here. So it's really for them, it's really beneficial, but they don't get it for now. If it's really for the gamers, why don't we get it for free? Or even in the in-game shop? Why does it have to be an NFT that we can resell? I mean, the point of buying skins and such is that we want to use them or weapons. We want to use them, and sure, do we want to sell? Do we regret that decision? Yeah, sure, of course we do. But reselling them in a game, I mean, games are at the top, at the start, at the start of their, at the release, they are at the top. The most players are buying or playing at that time, or then it falls down, the player count drops. New DLC is added, maybe the count goes up, but quickly dies down again. You should be really lucky if you manage to actually sell any of the NFTs you have bought once you reach the end game. If unless you reach the end game very early. If you don't, well, chances are you won't be able to sell your NFTs, and especially not for a higher price than you bought them for in the beginning. This is a real problem that they don't seem to be addressing. Let's continue on. Do you think you would have been better off launching Quartz without mentioning NFTs or blockchain if you had just launched a new platform that offered gamers something new without exposing them to the underlying mechanics powering it? Actually, we tried in a way. That's why we named them digits, as I said. We consider not speaking about the technology, but we know our players, they would have known digits were NFTs. So we decided it would not be very smart to try to hide it. Our principle is to build a safe place and safer environment with Quartz, so we need to be transparent on what we are doing. Points to Ubisoft for actually doing that and not trying to hide it. But it's still an NFT and it's still microtransactions that are not going well with us consumers. Let's and speaking of Ubisoft hiding things, or at least trying, in this case they're not trying, but let's go to Ghost Recon Frontline. Ghost Recon Frontline is a upcoming Ghost Recon game. It's a it's a basically Apex Legends Roy Battle Royale PvP shooter. But every time you read about this game, it does not mention that it's a battle royale because they know that most players do not enjoy them very much. Most players associate free battle royale with either Fortnite or PUBG, and both of those communities are toxic. Well, at least from what I've read, I've not played them myself, but from what I've read about both of those games, they are really they're really toxic, and the cheaters are everywhere. The developers are not doing anything about them, and considering how Ubisoft usually handles updates, bug fixes, and such, I have no high hopes for these types of things from Ubisoft. We can read, for example, Ghost Recon Frontline is a discover a new free-to-play tactical action massive PvP experience set in the Ghost Recon universe. At least they do acknowledge that it's free-to-play. Another taboo word for gamers, lack of another word. Free-to-play tactical action massive PvP shooter grounded in the renowned Ghost Recon universe. Features an advanced class system and large set of tactical support tools allowing for complete freedom in strategic gameplay with multiple ways to outsmart enemy teams and win every fight. So a lot of big words for that is used for every kind of basically every kind of first-person shooters. Now, Ghost Recon Frontline is not out yet, so we will have to see how the reception will be. But I'm not looking forward to this game. I mean, it's a rogue. God damn it! It's a battle royale game, massive PvP, not my kind of thing. But over today, this one again. It's not just the environment, I fear. A lot of the feedback I read suggested gamers view or fear NFTs being the new microtransactions or the new loot boxes. That digits are going to make gaming with Ubisoft more expensive. Are they right or wrong? Well, first, players are always right because they are our players and we love them, and so they're always right. Okay. If we're always right and we are telling you that this is not something we want, it's not something that is good for us, it's not something that good for the gaming industry, then why are you arguing against that? I don't mean to sound angry or something, but I'm more frustrated at the weird double standard it seems to be here. I mean, players always right. We listen to our fans, but at the same time, we're not gonna do a new Splinter Cell. The next Ghost Recon is a PvP shooter, and so on and so forth. It's crazy how Ubisoft is dodging bullets, but at the same time capturing them and throwing them back at us, or something like that. Bad analogy, sorry, I know, but it's really weird, and I'm just sick of it. The most cynical feedback I've read from gamers has pointed to this all being a ploy to line Ubisoft pockets with more money, but you see it being about creating a deeper player engagement experience. Yes, the model of play to earn is about allowing players to make their own money by adding value to the whole ecosystem. So it's not just about Ubisoft, actually, but mostly about Ubisoft, actually. Because as I said, NFTs are basically the stock market. The prices for each NFT will go up and down, but I imagine it will mostly go downhill. But let's go over to the last article that I want to read here, also from The Verge, actually. As you may know, the game Ghost Recon Breakpoint is done. It's over. They are not creating any new content for it, except for possibly fixing any bigger issues with it, bugs and glitches and such. And NFTs are also over. There are no new NFTs coming to the game. And well, that's it. There are no new NFTs available according to the Quartz website, though you can still browse resale marketplace on blah blah blah. It's unclear if the Ghost Recon Breakpoint NFTs will be transferable to future games in some way, though as far as I know, Ubisoft has never promised this would be the case. This is one of the many potential possibilities made possible thanks to blockchain technology, Roach said in an email after we first published this article. I asked directly if Ubisoft confirmed it will let players who bought digits transfer them to other games at some point, but Roche said the company had nothing to add. If they don't transfer, that means people who may have paid a good amount of money for one of the digital collectibles are stuck it owning it in just one game that is no longer getting new content from the developer, much like what happens with more traditional virtual gaming gear when a game shuts down. That might sting for those who picked up an NFT at a high price. I saw that one digit was purchased in late March on Rarible for 100 pesos, which is currently equivalent to about $330. $330 for one digit. And that's not even a lot of money for an NFT. As I said previously, some NFTs are going for millions, but those are not related to this game. But still, $330 for one NFT, and well, you can use it in the game. Yay! Maybe it's a unique, cool weapon that shoots lasers out of a unicorn's ass. Oh wait, that's another game. Maybe it shoots rainbows out of a rat's ass. I don't know. Anyway, $330 for one NFT, and what did that get you? It got you basically a skin or a new weapon, and that's it. Maybe you can sell it for more, but as the game won't get any more updates, and sooner or later the servers will shut down as Breakpoint is yet another always online game. This is another problem that will break everything about gaming. So many games are always online now, so servers need to be maintained and they need to be up and on so that you can play the game when servers are eventually shut down, which they will be. It's no delaying that. There is no, well, maybe delaying, but there is no stopping it. The servers will shut down eventually. And when that happens, all of this, all that you have bought is basically gone. It's still there, but on your computer, but no servers are running it. Perhaps some people might be able to actually get some kind of what should we say, emergency server up for some games, but it's still it's you don't own the game basically. It's still something that you can't do anything about. You can't put those NFTs to good use. unless Ubisoft actually makes it so that you can transfer them. I have my doubts on that, but who knows? Maybe Ubisoft will surprise me for once. But I have babbled on enough on this. Let's hear what you have to say. Let me hear what you have to say about this. What do you think about NFTs? What do you think about Ubisoft's way of implementing them? Do you think that NFTs can be the future of gaming, or at least have a place in the gaming world? I myself have to say no, because NFTs are just another form of microtransactions and can easily be the same thing as, well, it's the yes, I can sell an NFT, but not a microtransaction thing, but it's still not something I do want in games because it creates a bad atmosphere, I think. Yes, that sounds very corny and very childish, but, or maybe not childish, but sounds weird, creating a bad atmosphere, but it's not something I would like to see. Don't want to see more of it, that is. But again, over to you. I've been Swip92. Have a great life, and I hope to see future videos. Bye bye.